Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this evening. Oh, I've made myself little. I do this all the time. Sorry, guys. There we go. Um, as you see, my profile picture tonight is of wisdom. Today makes 1 year that wisdom has been in heaven, and to celebrate that, I was going to go ahead and do stolen spirit flyers, but I went ahead and decided that I'll go ahead and do the project cold case unsolved homicide, where we honor the person and we talk about the person before we talk about the tragedy, because that's more wisdom. That's our fight. So let's keep wisdom in our thoughts. She's done better than we are for sure, but I want to bring up that this has been 1 year, and rest in peace, wisdom. And you know what? Until we see each other again. All right. That being said, what I do is I want to show you Project Cold Case, their Facebook page. Because I always play like their little intro at the top of their website. But before I do that, I want to say hi to everyone because here I am rambling. I'm a little off today with it being a year for wisdom, so have a little patience with me. But hi, Potato. Thank you for coming in. Kit Carson, Slick. I hope you've been behaving. I haven't seen you in a bit. I'm glad you're here. Tree Nut, happy to see you. There's Chunky. We got Sunny. Hi, Mustang. Thank you so much for coming in. You're always coming in. Thank you so much. You're always so kind in here. We have remembering you. Well, I'm happy to see you. I hope you're having a better day today. You're in my prayers. We have Pookie Duke. Hey, Pookie Duke. And Son. I think I said hi to Sunny. If I missed Sunny, I do apologize. Guys, there are two streams going. I have the computer side and the phone side. Most of my viewers do use the phone side, but for those that don't, there is the computer side. With that being said, let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll go ahead and get started. Well, maybe if I knew what I was doing here, right? All right, here we go. Here we go, guys. Let me make this bigger and then share it to you. And you guys will see. I do this kind of every time because this kind of tells their story and it's very heartwarming. It is. But first, guys, I do want to ask if you don't mind, please hit like and subscribe. You have to be subscribed in here to chat. But if you haven't subscribed and you're just lurking, please consider. But sharing is the main thing. Even if you don't like or you don't want to subscribe, it's sharing because each one of these victims matter. They matter as much today as they did as the day that their lives were taken in the hands of someone else. That being said, let me go ahead and share this. I'll quit rambling and let's go.
I'm doing fine.
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 I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine, is what we say, but that is not the case at all. Our minds replay the better days before we got the call, and paused, and dropped, and cried out tears of grief, for someone that we knew and loved was now declared deceased. Homicide arrest rates took a plunge in recent years. Families left in mourning faced the worst of all their fears to hear our loved ones have been taken by the hands of someone else. They're working on the case, but it's been hard without the help of the community with answers as witnesses choose absence. Missing puzzle pieces hold the key to what has happened, and it seems that things are lacking. It's been a year with nothing mentioned. It's hard to sleep at night because we know that someone did this and they ain't been apprehended. While detectives stop their visits, they don't have good descriptions and their leads have been dismissing, so this case is disappearing like the teardrops on our sleeves. Mornings filled with the morning, say a prayer for those who leave, save a prayer for those who grieve, because this pain is unsurmountable when someone takes a life and no one's held accountable. We have nothing good to go off of because nothing's been reported. Detectives clutch their hats, approaching broken hearts on porches, forcing families out with torches. Those are mothers in the streets. They're acting like they're officers returning to the scenes. Fathers question witnesses while brothers comb for clues. Sisters put up posts in hopes to garner up some views, and doing fine is what we say, but that is not the case at all. For murder cases frozen frees the families involved, pushing families to pause their lives so they can seek out justice. We watch the process fade while being told that we should trust it, feeling broken and disgusted, helpless and ignored, trying to find a way that we can somehow fill the void behind the murder of a loved one in the hopes to catch a break. Faith is like a bird we hold and cherish that escapes, and a day's a day too late, and it's hard to carry on, speaking to a grave of someone that should not be gone. That's where we find our strength in numbers. Project Cold Case fills the gaps. They become a bridge that helps to bring our focus back so that we don't forget our loved ones, but we do remember us. Much more than a system set in place to keep in touch, they're a sound of hope in silence, a light in times of dark, a real-life organization built on showing us their heart. And that part sometimes is everything we need to float. Someone who believes that we can win can give us hope and not only help us cope, but help us stand and raise our heads as a tribute to the fallen that will live for them instead. So that one day when we're asked how we've been holding it together, we will know we're not alone and will respond, we're doing better.
Okay. Isn't that just sad? That is so heartbreaking, but it's the truth. Many of these families. Oh, sorry, guys. I played that again. Yeah, many of our families, they struggle like this daily, and I feel like they're overlooked, and it's so unfair. Each family member matters. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Oh, there. For all of our haters, I want you guys to pull up your big girl bloomers before we get started here. I don't expect any trolls to come in because if they do wait 5 minutes to come in and troll us, then I guess they kind of deserve it. But I hope that they pull up their big girl bloomers. With that being said, on a serious note, let's go ahead and get started. This is Tiffany Hollis. So as I'm reading this, I can see a little bit of chat left and right. So if I do miss something, please put a caution sign up so I can get them out of here. I don't think we have any mods in here as of right now. That's okay. I can mod it. It's not that big of a deal. Just kind of put a caution sign up and we'll just let the trash take itself out or we can remove it. Okay, so this is Tiffany Hollis. Is the sound okay before I go ahead and continue? Because I don't want to disrespect the victim with not having good sound. Mustang, does it sound okay? I kind of wait for someone to let me know because nothing's worse than watching something and it mumbles the whole time or it's staticky. I'm going to assume that it's okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I hope it is okay, guys. So on March 20th, 2010, at 5:45 p.m., 16-year-old Tiffany Hollis was shot and killed at the intersection of Calvin Street and, and Belfort Street in the west side of Jacksonville, Florida. We will get into who she is because it's so important. According to a story written on Tiffany Hollis Foundation website, now Tiffany and four other young women were lost in an unfamiliar neighborhood when someone opened fire on their car. Despite organized walks on the 20th of each month through that neighborhood where Tiffany was killed, no one has ever come forward with information on those shooters. Tiffany's family and friends have fought for justice and make sure that Tiffany is never forgotten. They began a foundation, a Christian Learning Academy, host an annual fashion show, toy drives. They organize monthly walks, all in hopes of bringing attention to Tiffany's unsolved murder and to honor her memory. Now, there's not a lot on Tiffany, but if you have any information, no matter how small you think that is, about Tiffany's unsolved murder, please call the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office at 904-630-2172. To remain anonymous, you can just call the Crime Stoppers Unit. It's 866-845-TIPS. That's 8477. You may be eligible for a reward up to $3,000 if your Crime Stopper tip leads to an arrest in this case. Please, I ask that you take a good look at her face. You may know something. You may, hi, Doodles. I'm so happy to see you come in. Tiffany matters. She matters as much today as she did the day that someone took her life. So if you have any information about this, do the right thing. Make that call. It's so important. Just do it anonymously. You can still do it anonymously and still get the reward. Remember that. So next, we're going to go on to Stephen. I hope I don't say this wrong. I want to say Spina, but I'm going to say Spina. Stephen Spina is an unsolved homicide victim from New York. And as we talk about his case, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and take the other one off so I don't get confused here. All right. So, hi, patriotism. It's good to see you. I'm so happy to see you come in. Did Barbara come in? I see Barbara. I see someone saying, hi, Barb. So happy to see you. Guys, I may miss, like I said, we have 2 streams. So if I miss someone, I totally apologize for it. I don't mean to. But I'm going to welcome you all in here. Thank you so much for coming in. I do appreciate it. If I have one person in chat, I'm thankful. If I have 50, I'm thankful. So thank you so much, guys. You're always so loyal to me. And I do see that. And I do appreciate it. Now, Steven Spina. Is it Spina? I'm going to say Spina. Steven Spina, 36, planned to spend his Monday off having lunch with his girlfriend and talking with his 12-year-old daughter and taking her to a Yankees game. Neither never happened. On September 17, 2007, Stephen had been stabbed to death in his New York apartment. With no signs of forced entry and nothing stolen from that home, it's very unlikely that Stephen knew his killer. He was last seen by a neighbor at 9:30 a.m. and was found deceased by a girlfriend at 12:30 p.m. Detectives received a number of leads, including information about Stephen's tires being slashed, not too long before his murder. That's a red flag. Also, investigative tips were used regarding prior relationships on Stephen and his girlfriends. Now, even with many leads in the case, detectives have been unable to name a suspect or rule anyone out. Now, Stephen, a letter carrier for the Larchmont Post Office, he's a very popular guy at work, and all the local little league fields, and that he umpired for a decade there. So Stephen's murder rocked this small town, this close knit community of Marmanek, New York, but even more so, it flipped it upside down to the world and to his family, especially his dear daughter. Now, despite years of keeping Stephen's case in the public eye, no arrests have ever been made. Stephen's murder was recently featured on a segment of Crime Watch Daily, and his family and friends raised extra reward money through a softball tournament just bearing Stephen's name. If you have any information regarding the murder of Stephen in New York, please contact the village of I don't know how to say this right, but hopefully this is right. Maranek Detective Bureau at 914-825-8541 or the New York State Crime Stoppers tip line, 866-313-TIPS. And we all know that TIPS is 8477. There is a reward totaling $40,000 for information that directly leads to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for Stephen's murder. Up to $22,500 is being offered through Stephen's Memorial Fund, and up to $12,500 is being offered by the New York Crime Stoppers. Guys, what are you waiting on? If you have information, call it in. Even if it's anonymous, do the right thing. Let this family have some rest. I do want to share. There is a newspaper article. I don't know if I can. Oh, I can't see it. That's such a shame. Because it is tiny, because it's old print. But guys, $40,000 reward. If you think you have information, why not do the right thing? We all have to do the right thing at some point. Here's your chance, and you get $40,000. I sound like I'm spokesmodel here, but I don't mean to be. It's just he's so important, you know. I catch myself like, just do it, just do it. But in all honesty, it's just my passion. Just call if you know. Let's check chat. Patriotism. Choose dreams. You're a I am patriot. I do. And you know, guys, sometimes I know I come in here and I've got 52 things going. What I do is anything that like stressful or how I deal with things is I bury my head in work. So you may see me go live every day for a month and then all of a sudden I'm once in a while. So he says, that's one thing I'm not good at. Well, Patriot, you know, practice makes perfect. I've never been able to just multitask easily, but now that I've gotten older, I've had a little time to. Hi, I found your other stream. Yay. I'm happy to have you, Patriot, at the other stream. Patriot, if you guys are not friends with Patriot, you should chat with him. He is a mess. If you think I'm funny, he's a funny one. He is. So let's talk about Michael Watkins. Michael Watkins is an unsolved homicide victim, December 8th, 2009, from Louisville, Kentucky, which I know we have a lot of Kentucky people on YouTube, and I'm so thankful because I love their accent. But okay, so November 15th, 2015, Michael Watkins is described by those who knew him. And see, this is how I love how it starts out. They talk about the person, and not that they do it on purpose because this is their website. They're putting the info out. I just appreciate knowing the person before I hear about the tragedy. And I haven't went through any of these. I share that with you. So, hi, Mark. Thank you for coming in. What I do is I don't read these ahead of time. I see the new submissions and I immediately put them out so that I'm just as surprised as you. Oh, I don't know about you guys, but these spam healthcare calls, whew, they got to go. They're driving me nuts today. So Michael Watkins is described by those who knew and loved him as a workaholic with no enemies, but on December 8th, 2009, he was the victim of a still unsolved murder. Michael called police that Tuesday evening to say he'd been attacked while working late at BJ's Novelty and Arcade Avenue in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, when OMPD arrived on the scene, Michael was found in the building he worked with, in the building that he worked at, but he had a stab wound to the neck. Michael's friends and family have continued their fight for answers by making sure Michael is not forgotten, and they are determined to get this justice for the man that they love. If you have any information, no matter how small you think it is, about Michael Watkins' murder, please call the Louisville Metro Police Department. You can do it anonymously. 502-574 LMPD. Guys, please, if you have any information at all, I beg you. I beg you to do the right thing. Now there is and I'm going to go ahead and share this because I didn't realize I could make this bigger. Let's see where we at here. Oh, here we go. Okay. Bear with me. Like I said, I'm a little off today because of it being a year of wisdom's anniversary that she's been in heaven. But as happy as I am for her, I miss her. I miss her. Okay, so I'm gonna add this to stage. Let me take Michael down just for a moment and then I'll put him back. But this is the newspaper article they have out. And like I said, if you're not familiar with projectcoldcase.org, you guys, I mean, whatever you want to know, they put it there and they work so hard. I'm not just saying that. Like, I don't just brag on everything. If I didn't like it, I definitely would say so. But this is a great website and they work so hard. Just unreal. Let me get back over to it so I can read that to you, though. Okay. Man found dead in store identified. Michael Watkins had been stabbed. Now, this is the Courier Journal. The man found dead with stab wounds at Taylor Berry neighborhood store on Tuesday night has been identified as Michael Watkins, 53, of the 3300th block of Rudd Avenue. Watkins was pronounced deceased at 10:15 p.m. after being found inside BJ Novelty, where he worked, said Jefferson County Deputy Coroner Jack Arnold. Now, Louisville Police Department spokeswoman Alicia Smiley said that police received a call at 10 p.m. from a man who said he had been stabbed. The call was traced to somewhere near Arcade Avenue and Taylor Boulevard. When police had arrived at the store, it was on the 1200th block of Arcade Avenue. They found the man deceased inside. There was no one else in the store. The store focused on games such as billiards, bowling, golf, and darts. Arnold said the coroner's office was not releasing the exact cause of death, but there was trauma. Watkins died on his birthday, Arnold said. Oh, well, God love him. Oh, hold him close. Billy McBride, Watkins, stepfather of 23 years, said that no one had a bad word to say about his stepson. You won't find a better person. He'd do anything for you, McBride said. Now, if you asked for the shirt off his back, he'd take it off and give it to you. McBride said Watkins was working Tuesday night and usually left work around midnight, arriving home at 1 a.m. at the latest. Watkins was a technician at the shop, McBride said. Anyone with information is asked to call the anonymous crime tip line, 574 LMPD. And I'll take that down. Come back over here and check chat real quick. I'll go ahead and put the next one up so you guys can get a look at the next one as we go through and as I check chat. Oh, I know, Mark. Yeah. 1 year today, she's been in heaven with her mom, and I know that it's happy. Like, I'm I'm religious, so I know that she's in a better place, and I completely get that. But I don't want to forget her, and I never want to forget that she meant so much to me. So I keep track, and she was an excellent person. She had a temper like a tornado. I tell you what, she could tear you up. But in 5 minutes later, she would console you. So I just loved her. She was brutally honest, and sometimes people didn't like her, and they called her out on YouTube for her brutally honest attitude. But you know what? Truth's truth. She did no wrong. Not that she didn't ever, but this is Donna Mills. Now, Donna, look how beautiful and so young. Donna Mills is an unsolved homicide victim from December 15th, 2007, Jacksonville, Florida. I'm assuming, are any of you from Jacksonville, Florida or in Florida? This must be a terrible place. Most of these are happening there. That's kind of worrisome to me. I'm like, ooh. So on September 18th, 2016, in the early mornings of December 25th, 2007, 29-year-old, oh, she looks young for 29. 29-year-old Donna Mills was asleep in her Confederate Point Road apartment on the west side of Jacksonville, Florida, when a stray bullet came through her window, striking and killing her as she slept. See that right there, stray bullet, that makes me so nervous. Officers responded to a report of gunfire at 3 a.m., but were unable to locate any suspects or evidence of shots being fired. Now, around 11 a.m., officers returned to investigate a second report of gunshots and discovered Donna's body in her apartment. Investigators believe the shots were random and need someone to come forward with information to identify the shooter. As the 9-year anniversary of Donna's murder approaches, the family just asks that the people, any of them that are responsible, persons, anyone responsible, finally be held accountable. Now, Barbara here, she knows more than anything. That's all she wants is accountability. Whoever did this deserves punishment. I mean, no one is above the law. So this family's the same way. They're just asking if you have any information, please come forward and let you know they just need answers. And the people that would have done this, they don't deserve to be out free. So on her 9th-year anniversary, as a murder approached, the family asked the persons responsible to finally be held accountable. Donna touched the lives of countless family members, friends, citizens with her well-documented kindness and giving spirit. Known for her beautiful smile and passion for photography, Donna was also committed to helping others. She was a team captain for a charitable event hosted by her employer, ViStar Credit Union, and also volunteered for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Now, Donna's legacy will forever live on, but it's time to get her killer off the street. It's been too long. Anyone who fires a weapon randomly and indiscriminately and with no regard for life or for public safety does not deserve to walk free in society. I agree 100%. If you have any information, no matter how small you think that is, if you've seen her that day, if you think you may have seen her, maybe you saw a car, maybe you heard the shots, maybe you drove by and just held your tongue in fear of it's. But this is an older case. This is a 2007 case. Now's your time. Call that anonymous tip in. You can call the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office at 904-630-0500. But if you really want to be anonymous, you can submit a tip online to First Coast Crime Stoppers, or you can call them 866-845-TIPS, and they cannot give your personal information. Now, as I do want to share where they have the newspaper article, because Project Cold Case puts anything and everything out possible they can show us, so that if someone would, as like me, decide to pick this up and read this and express this, that you guys get to kind of see that that's awful, literal random violence. It is. And then on one of them was a birthday, on their birthday. I mean, it's not, if it's bad enough that there's crime, but to just be sitting in your safe place and a stray bullet come in, that, no. And I mean, how many more has that happened to that we just don't know about yet? Maybe as we go through here, we can connect. We don't know. We don't know. And see, that's why I always say there's not a safe place, because honestly, there's not. There's just not. And I never thought we'd ever have to live in a world like that. But we are, and it's worryful for the littles. Okay, so this is what I'm looking at when I go over there now, and I think I might be able to make this bigger. I see that can be littler, but I don't see that can be bigger. I'm not real familiar, but I'm gonna try here. Okay, see if I can go up a little. If it'll show me. Nope, this is where it starts. Okay, but this is where they actually have gotten this old newspaper article. That's how much work they put into this. So it says sister seeks help to find killer. Volunteers will help her pass out flyers at a rally to find new leads. The younger sister of a woman, I'm gonna say, I hate to say killed because it's ugh, for the family, that word really means the end, and I hate saying it for the family, but the younger sister of the woman deceased, as she slept in the perceived safety of her own Jacksonville apartment, December 15th, has organized another rally of volunteers and police to pass out flyers seeking information about this killer. Now, Sarah Mills said she expects several dozen people to join with the family, friends, and Mad Dad's organization at 2 p.m. Now, as we go through here, I'm going to go ahead and skip some of the stuff I had already read. But over to the side, as you can see here, it says, "Who killed Donna Mills?" And you can see her photos. What a beautiful young lady. Donna Mills was struck by one of several bullets fired at the preserve at Cedar River at Confederate Point Road in at around 3 a.m. Now, all of this is exactly the same, but I do want to focus on this. Guys, any kind of tip. I say one because here you have to say one, but it's 866-845-8477. And we all know that means that's the tip line, 845 tips. Tips is 8477. I always stress that just in case you have to. You're going to hear me like, okay, great. Doodle's got 8477. We remember. Let me check chat real quick. Hi, Nina. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to see you. I hope you're doing good. I hardly get to even chat with you anymore. I am so happy to see you. Guys, this is Nina. I'm sure you're familiar with her. If not, she has her own YouTube channel. Please check her channel out. She does amazing work. She's also lost a son, and she's a wonderful, wonderful person. Hi, Pink Peony. Happy to see you. You guys make my night with this. I did not expect many to come in, and my old ones coming in just really just melts my heart. It absolutely. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming in. So next we're going to talk about Rachel Galbraith. Let me take this one off. Here we go. So no, oh, well, I think I got a little it's not Rachel. It is Lacey. I am sorry, guys. Lacey. Lacey Gaines. Now, she's an unsolved homicide victim from December 7th, 2009 from Justice, Illinois. And Illinois cases, of course, we know that's pretty close to me. Okay, so just 6 days after celebrating her 20th birthday, Lacey Claire Gaines was found murdered in her own apartment in Justice, Illinois. On December 7th, 2009, the boyfriend of Lacey walked into the apartment they shared and found her body. Well, that's happened a couple times here. Lacey was discovered both stabbed and strangled, wearing a black bra and jeans. There were no signs of forced entry, no missing property, no signs of sexual assault, and Lacey displayed no defensive wounds, likely meaning Lacey knew her attacker and let the killer into her home. Now, despite a number of tips and leads, including details about relationship issues, investigators have not made an arrest in her murder. Now, her cousin, niece, sister, and friends, they have all fought for her. The family's never given up hope that this killer is going to be brought to justice. Now, this was featured in July 2015 in an issue of Citizens Against Homicide News, and her family maintains a website dedicated to finding her killer with pictures, timelines, details, and ways to submit tips. If you have any information about the unsolved murder of Lacey Gaines, I beg you to do the right thing. Call 773-674-3740. And of course, you've got Crime Stoppers, 800-535-STOP. Guys, please do the right thing. If you have any information about Lacey, let it out. Let these families have some resolution. No family deserves the not knowing. We have Michael Cohen. Now, he's an unsolved homicide victim from April 18th, 2001. Let me check chat in between. Yeah, Pink, I know she's so beautiful. And it's so sad to think that such a young life was just in her safe place. And someone took it upon themselves to just, oh, it's unreal. It's heartbreaking. And any parent that's lost a child can connect with each and every photo on here. And I think that's what draws me to this is that I would want this done for my son, just one of them deals. Okay, so this is Michael Cohen. Now, May 14th, 2018, this is by Matthew Farina. This story is part of a collaborative project between Project Cold Case and a University of North Florida journalism class. The student credited above wrote this story as a class project. Well, good for him. Great. That's great. Michael Cohen Jr. loved his family, his father. Michael Cohen Sr. remembers him just vividly. At an Arlington Country Day School first grade piano recital, Aaron Cohen said that his son stood on that stage and gave an unexpected introduction. Before sitting down to play his piece, the retired U.S. Navy veteran recalls Michael turned to the crowd and said, "My name's Michael Cohen Jr., and I'm a handsome son of Mr. and Mrs. Cohen." Aww, I love that. He grinned widely as he proudly acknowledged his father and mother in attendance. They were just his everything, and I'm sure that he was their everything. Michael's sister Rizelle has similar memories of her older brother, just unwavering affection and humor. She says when Michael was a teenager, he offered to take their parents' car for a spin once the duo had finished washing it. I told Michael I didn't know how to drive, and he said he would teach me. The younger Cohen reminisced. Well, my feet wouldn't reach the pedals, so he let me sit on his lap and we drove around the block. I remember my mother yelling at us when we pulled back in the driveway. We just laughed. For Cohen Carbert and Cohen Sr., these fleeting memories are all that remain of the Duval County native. On April 18, 2001, neighbors on the 1600th block of West 26th Street heard several gunshots. A Jacksonville Sheriff's Office patrol unit responded to that area but did not find anything. Fewer than 24 hours later, homicide investigators returned to that location, and at that time, they found him. Michael Cohen Jr., 22, lay deceased on a dirt driveway. An autopsy revealed multiple gunshot wounds, 2 to his head and 1 in his chest. According to Jacksonville's office cold case unit employee, R. Starling, police were unable to identify a suspect because of lack of evidence. There were no witnesses, Starling said. The only evidence found at the scene was a 9mm casing and 1 unknown projectile. Now, it has only been a year since Cohen was released from prison on a 1999 burglary. Now, although there were few initial leads, the case was reopened for review in 2005. That was after an individual did come forward with information. Now, Starling says an individual called JSO's homicide office and gave investigators a name. Detectives made contact with the named individual, a family member of the victim who was already incarcerated at the Montgomery Correctional Center. That individual invoked his right to remain silent and refused the interview. Oh my. Okay. According to JSO police report, Michael and his family member may have had a dispute over unknown matters. When asked about the possible conflict between the two men, Cohen Carbert said rumors were circulating at that time, but they were never confirmed. My brother and his family member got into an argument when Michael was released from jail. Some people said Michael broke into his home, but that was just talk. Michael's father said he heard similar stories like JSO and his daughter. He was unable to verify any kind of the speculation. So Michael had that brotherly protection and love when it come to everything, even in jail. He would ask the guys what they needed, and just he was super, super kind. Even in jail, he was kind. Now, on March 11th, 2012, detectives updated his case notes. A grant had allowed for DNA processing at a Florida Department of Law Enforcement facility. Now, lab specialists were looking for fingerprints on that 9mm casing, but again, the investigation was at a standstill. Today, 17 years later, after his murder, Michael Cohen Jr.'s family still celebrates the life of their beloved son and brother. I remember seeing Michael after he had gotten out of prison a few days before his murder. Rizelle Cohen Carbert said, he was walking down the street and it looked like he was just glowing. He looked like an angel, almost just lost. Guys, if you have any information about him, anything at all, do the right thing. I mean, just make that call. Make the call, please. Just make that call. Okay, let me check chat, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Like she does, yeah, she definitely she was absolutely beautiful, and it's so sad the way her life ended. You're providing a wonderful platform to bring hope and awareness to all those in need. Oh, well, thank you, Pink. That's my goal. I just don't want anybody forgotten. If, we all have loved ones that we've lost, but when we don't have answers, we don't get resolution. And it's important that maybe a family member sees this and realizes that people do care. Doodlebug, can you see my YouTube is acting weird? I can't see that it's acting weird. Is it acting weird for you? Oh, I can see you. Yeah. Yeah, I see you. Doodle says, and keeping their names alive. Yeah, because I just think that if this were my son and someone would take it upon themselves to pick my child to read, I would think, that would make my heart a little bit, I guess, a little bit easier on my heart, I think. Or it could be worse and it could bring back trauma. That's not my goal here, but hopefully this is out of respect and they know that because I never want to hurt a family member. So this is Shirley Badger Trenner. Isn't she's just the cutest thing? That smile, those eyes, such a kind face. Now she's an unsolved homicide victim from August 3rd, 1985, from Palm Harbor, Florida. Now, May 7th, 2018, by Catherine Hamilton. Shirley Badger Tanner's fascination for the new and exotic had always been obvious to those around her. Whether it was owning one of her first microwaves or trying a new cuisine, her interest in technology led her to work at a computer store in her retired years. But no one ever could have known that she would be senselessly attacked and murdered while opening that store. Oh, God love her. In 1985, Jenner was taken at 61 years old from her friends and family by someone entering a store, learn a bit about computers in Palm Harbor, Florida. I don't know how to say that county. Is it Pinellas County? Attacked her and stole her car. Her vehicle turned up later at Courtney Campbell's Causeway in Clearwater. Now, a witness was able to identify a suspect. According to the report, the suspect was a white male, mid-20s, 5'10" to 6 foot tall, 170 pounds with dark hair with an orange t-shirt and jeans. Not an excessive amount of evidence besides a possible suspect. Since then, the case has gotten colder and colder until a new detective was assigned to her case. Now, he's made more progress in 6 months than they've made in 32 years. Now, this is all by her daughter saying this. Now, McCorkindale was 28 years old when she got the news that her mother, now 32 years later, she's almost 61. I am the exact same age as my mom when she passed. I mean, almost to the month. So that's a very sobering thing to me when I think about that. I mean, I've got some years left, she says, but Trenner's family wasn't necessarily a conventional one. She had 4 daughters and moved around quite a bit during their younger years. Even though life could be rocky in their earlier years, they eventually settled into like a family neighborhood in Brookfield, Connecticut. There, her daughters learned to be self-sufficient, had the opportunity to sail and fly in airplanes on the weekends, and with their stepfather, Fred. Now, Trenner moved down to Florida in her later years, but swore, I don't want to be one of those retired people who sit at the pool and tell people about my most recent operation. That's cute. Our lives got happier as time passed, McCormickdale said. When we got older, she was definitely a good friend to all of us. Now, attention to Trenner's case has greatly increased over the last year because of that letter McCorkindale sent to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, calling them to pay attention to her mom's case. I said, in quotes, you know what? I don't have 30 more years for this. All I ever wanted was for somebody in that sheriff's department to pay attention, and that's just what was happening until now, end quote. Since then, PCSO has made a special case cold unit with 2 detectives. Their entire job is spent time looking for and into that cold case. They never had to go into a fresh homicide. They never have to. Overall, McCorkindale and her family is hoping that there's be tons of more advancement in this case. She knows with DNA, you never know. I mean, this could be solved. There's rarely a day that goes by, even after 32 years, that they don't think about their mother. I guess what I would say to someone who has just freshly experienced this is, and this is her words, yeah, it's like having one of those appendages ripped off, like your arm, your leg, and then over time it subsides, but there's always going to be, always a part of you missing. If you have any information about that unsolved murder of Shirley Badger Trenner, please do the right thing. Call 1-800-873-TIPS to remain anonymous and become eligible for a reward, sorry. It says award on here, but it's a reward up to $3,000. Cynthia McCorkindale also releases updates about her mother on justiceforshirley.com. Oh, that's heartbreaking too. I mean, the poor woman. Okay, let me come over here and check chat. Please leave your oh, thank you, Pink. I appreciate that. I really do. Okay, so next one. And guys, there isn't several. We have 3 more, so it won't be long. I don't want to keep you guys for long. I know you guys all probably have plans. This is Keith Dinkins. Now, this story is part of a collaborative project between Project Cold. Oh, I don't know if that's shared. Okay, it's shared. This story is part of a collaborative project between Project Cold Case and the University of North Florida journalism class. Keith Dinkins was an intelligent and ambitious young man. He had many dreams and was well off on his way to make a good life for himself and his family. He loved his family and he looked forward to being a father. Now, Dinkins had a dream of opening his own barbershop. According to Sierra Johnson, the mother of Dinkins' son, there were no hair stores or east side of Jacksonville at all. Every time he visited another hair store, Dinkins was asked questions about opening up his own shop. Well, on August 5th, 2009, Dinkins, 23, got into an altercation with 3 men outside of A&E grocery store located at the 1500 Florida Avenue. Now, during this altercation, one person left, returned shortly with a weapon, and shot Dinkins in the chest. Dinkins was later pronounced dead at UF Health Jacksonville Shands Hospital. Now, Muff said the police thought Dinkins may have been the aggressor in this altercation at the shooting, and that, the shooting was self-defense, but it was 3 against 1. Obviously, that's not that is self-defense. If there's 3 against 1, that's a big deal. Keith was all by himself, and they're all against him, and that's not fair, said Muff. Now, Muff spoke with Dinkins the night before he died. He called her to discuss getting the whole family together to go to the beach. He loved going to the beach with his family, and he loved his family. The next morning, he was gone. The police still have not found his killer. Police know who killed Keith, but the police can't arrest them if there's not enough evidence to prosecute. There's no one to prosecute. The man who killed Keith grew up with us and even went to church with us, said Muff. When Dinkins died, his son Keith Jr. was 12 months old and doesn't know much about his dad or how he died. He only is told stories by Johnson and Muff. Now, Keith Jr. is 11 years old now. Now, he says that he asked about his dad, but he doesn't really think about it that much. If his dad was here, he would want to go to the beach with him. That's so sad. Now, Dinkins wasn't raised by his mother or father. His mother had him young, so his father being in prison, Keith was raised by his grandma, and she worked hard to make sure that Dinkins had everything he needed. But according to his cousin, Dinkins felt like he wasn't given everything that he needs. That's terrible. Keith Dinkins wanted to be able to provide for his family and be a great father to his newborn son. His upbringing encouraged him to create a better life for his son. Muff said that the family does not have plans to release Dinkins' ashes at Jacksonville Beach. The family does have plans to release his ashes at the beach, one of his favorite places. The family has had a hard time dealing with the loss of Dinkins, especially since his killer has never been arrested. But they try to remember the good times that they had with Dinkins and spend more time together as a family. I'm happy when all the family gets together to hang out and have fun, but it's also so sad that piece of us is missing. Keith is not there to do the things with us that he wanted to do, says Muff. If you have any information on the unsolved murder of Keith Dinkins, please call the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office at 904-630-0500. To remain anonymous and possibly be eligible for that $3,000 reward, call First Coast Crime Stoppers, 866-845-8477. Another very, very sad one. A lot of young lives lost. Lots of young lives lost. Yep. Oh, you're welcome, Mustang. Yeah, Doodles, I know. And they put new submissions out. They put them out as much as they can. And I don't even think that these are all the new submissions. I have to go back. I think he is, but I have to go back. There's still more. So there's not enough time in one day. And that's the saddest, most scariest part of this. is we could do this for days. How scary is that? Think about it. We could do this for days. It's just not right. So, did I share Keisha? I don't think I shared. Yep, there she is. I was like, did I share her? But yes, it's very alarming, especially when you start looking at things like they're still unsolved, and some of these are very old. But this is Keisha Murray. I don't want to keep you guys too long. I know it's a Friday night. We gotta. I'm sure y'all got hot dates today, right? So this is Keisha Murray. The story, of course, is the collaborative project between Project Cold Case and a University of North Florida journalism class. Keisha Murray lost her life to an unknown assailant on July 7th, 2013. For her family, especially her sisters, Julia, Clover, and Erica, their entire family just fell apart. According to Julia, when police discovered Keisha in the cemetery on the 2600 Revolt Scenic Drive, her body had been set against a tree and bathed. No traces of the murder. Julia considered it at least an act of compassion and decency on the part of the killer, despite the pain her family still feels after that day. Now, this one's really suspicious. Julia showed Julia slowed to gather her thoughts as she recounted life with Keisha before losing her sister. She said that until 15 years ago, Keisha was the life of the party, a beloved sister and mom. If she had survived, she would be a grandma by now. She had a great sense of humor, always said just the most funniest, goofiest things. Erica said this all about Keisha. You could always get a smile on your face thanks to her. Now, this changed with her meeting a new group of friends when Julia stated that she started Keisha's slow downward spiral. But she was always too trusting. She always thought that anybody who smiled at her meant they wanted to be friends, but she learned the hard way here, and this is awful. Julia said that after that, Keisha received a diagnosis of schizophrenia. Now, Julie's family ultimately scattered 2 years after that homicide, and her mother in particular suffered the worst from her death. According to Julia, she had starved herself for 3 months and dropped from 175 pounds to 80 pounds. Now, guys, before you judge that when you're grieving, that is very common. You can't eat, you can't sleep, you're in a nightmare. A severe enough condition for a hospital stay and a long road toward healing. Now, Julia herself has been working constantly to keep Keisha's case open. The dedication has also prompted Julia to keep on going in her law enforcement education. I love that part. All to find more closure for her sister's case and prove her murderer wrong. Good for her. What a strong woman. Julia, you're the one pursuing a career in law enforcement, so I'm leaving it up to you to find the one who killed our sister, Julia quoted to her other sister, Paula, as saying, according to her, this was the fire under the pan for her and her sisters. Good for them. Keisha was left for dead against a tree in a cemetery. Julia wants nothing more than to show the murder that, it hasn't been forgotten. Keisha was never forgotten. To her, the weight of Keisha's life of being a sister, mom, grandma should never be something to shrug off. I'm exhausted. I've exhausted all avenues, but I'm still hoping each and every day this family can have some kind of closure and hoping that one day that family can face the murderer in court. If you have any information, guys, I beg you, do the right thing. Call it in. Call it in anonymously. You have nothing to lose by doing that. Okay, so with that, that is the end of it. But before I do that, I want to go back to, and I'm going to have to go up here and do Project Cold Case again. I want to thank everyone for coming in here. I greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. You guys are so loyal to me. When you could be anywhere, but you're not. You're here with me, and I do appreciate that. In chat right now, this is their website. Um, it's not. I'm telling you, you're absolutely going to like the website. No, not date here. Oh, yeah, and I will go through each and every one, but we are fixing to go ahead and end. But that is their link to their Project Cold Case. But to make this so that people understand that this is not a joke, these are lives lost. And that being said, I mean, I can't not. When I found this group, I was like, well, I don't know about this. And then I just kept going over it and over it. And I was like, you know what? These people really put all the work into this. Like, they do amazing. But you kind of have to watch because it kind of goes back and forth. Like, you almost have to go to the website to get, if you're looking for the very intro that I put in here, you will have to go to their website, not their Facebook page, because that's on their website. But as we end this, I want to play this again, and then the outro will play. So before I go ahead and do this, I want to thank you guys again. I've seen some faces in here that I haven't seen in a while. In the past 3 days, I've seen many very familiar faces that I have missed. We have Pink Peony had come in. We had Mark and Betty that came in, and those little things like Nina that I hadn't seen in forever. Hi, Steven. I'm so sorry that I missed you. I don't know how I missed you. Let me put him up here. I guess you are new to the channel, or maybe you haven't chatted before, but I want to welcome you to the channel. Thank you for coming in, and I hope that I did okay in presenting this. But I wanted to bring up guys, let's welcome Steven. I mean, I love to see new faces. We need to get together as a community, and we need to find some answers for these families. What is the name of Nina's channel? Nina, what is the name of your channel? Actually, let me share that. If I could get over and find her. Is it still the same one, Nina? Yeah, Nina has an excellent. She may not be in here anymore. If not, I'll make sure I put it in the description for you, Pink. Because I know she did change it, but I don't remember. She may be done. She was doing like a rescue dog thing for her deceased son, and that was so great. But again, I want to thank you, Stephen, for coming in. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. We're happy to have you. What I'm going to do, and this is kind of how I end this, I will play that again from Project Cold Case. In the description of this live is the Project Cold Case website. It's also their Facebook is on there too. So if you want to check out any of those, see if maybe you know anything just by looking at videos, please do. But as I just keep on blabbering here, let me go ahead and get started. And I'll show you this outro and then or their intro for their website. And then I will play my outro. Guys, God bless you. Have a wonderful night. Please stick around and watch this. And if you will share, I would greatly appreciate it. Please help me get these people remembered. No one deserves to be forgotten. And a lot of people don't have family left to fight for them. They don't. Doodles is like blabber away. I get really passionate with this stuff. I do. I'm very passionate. Oh, Pink, that's so sweet. Thank you. Great live stream. Oh, Pink, that is a very interesting case, and I appreciate you giving that to me because I had never heard of that before, and it's very heartbreaking, but it was an excellent case. So thank you. I do appreciate that. Okay, so let me go ahead and share this to the stage. I will hush while this plays, and then I'll play my outro. But guys, God bless each and every one of you. Get good rest tonight. If you're worrying, let it go. If you have anxiety, let it go. You matter. I don't care what anybody says. You matter. Words don't matter, but you matter. Okay, let me do this.
I'm doing fine.
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 I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine, is what we say, but that is not the case at all. Our minds replay the better days before we got the call, and paused, and dropped, and cried out tears of grief, for someone that we knew and loved was now declared deceased. Homicide arrest rates took a plunge in recent years. Families left in mourning faced the worst of all their fears to hear our loved ones have been taken by the hands of someone else. They're working on the case, but it's been hard without the help of the community with answers as witnesses choose absence. Missing puzzle pieces hold the key to what has happened, and it seems that things are lacking. It's been a year with nothing mentioned. It's hard to sleep at night because we know that someone did this and they ain't been apprehended, while detectives stop their visits. They don't have good descriptions and their leads have been dismissing, so this case is disappearing, like the teardrops on our sleeves. Mornings filled with the morning, say a prayer for those who leave. Save a prayer for those who grieve, because this pain is unsurmountable when someone takes a life and no one's held accountable. We have nothing good to go off of because nothing's been reported. Detectives clutch their hats, approaching broken hearts on porches, forcing families out with torches. Those are mothers in the streets. They're acting like they're officers returning to the scenes. Fathers question witnesses while brothers comb for clues. Sisters put up posts in hopes to garner up some views, and doing fine is what we say. But that is not the case at all. For murder cases frozen frees the families involved, pushing families to pause their lives so they can seek out justice. We watch the process fade while being told that we should trust it, feeling broken and disgusted, helpless and ignored, trying to find a way that we can somehow fill the void behind the murder of a loved one in the hopes to catch a break. Faith is like a bird we hold and cherish that escapes, and a day's a day too late, and it's hard to carry on, speaking to a grave of someone that should not be gone. That's where we find our strength in numbers. Project Cold Case fills the gaps. They become a bridge that helps to bring our focus back so that we don't forget our loved ones, but we do remember us. Much more than a system set in place to keep in touch, they're a sound of hope in silence, a light in times of dark, a real-life organization built on showing us their heart. And that part sometimes is everything we need to float. Someone who believes that we can win can give us hope, and not only help us cope, but help us stand and raise our heads as a tribute to the fallen that will live for them instead. So that one day when we're asked how we've been holding it together, we will know we're not alone and will respond, we're doing better.
In a world that turns too fast, some are lost, left in the past. But we won't let silence win. We'll speak their names again. Voices rising through the dark. Every story leaves a mark. We are the ones who won't forget. The fight for truth is not done yet. We shine the light, we raise the call. For the missing, the broken, we stand tall. For justice, for healing, for every tear, we carry their names